Welcome everyone into the virtual Atlanta Motor Speedway. It's the 6th edition of Ron Morris Racing's Tuesday Night Thunder. And we are in race number 14 here tonight in the Xfinity Series car for 100 laps of action around this 1.5 mile speedway here in Atlanta. We'll have a stage break tonight at lap number 35 and 40% fuel here in all these Xfinity Series cars. 2 extra sets of tires, no fast repairs, fixed setups, and 3 green-white checkers if we need them. And sorry for getting on here late. We were coming from another broadcast here tonight. So we will have to skip probably the qualifying results, but Dylan Bass and Trevor Astronaut, they will bring us down to the green flag here in just a minute's time. As we get set to go racing here, we'll go over the points situation here shortly as well. But Dylan Basin on the top of the board. Trevin Astronaut qualifies in 2nd. Malik Ray 3rd. Joe Horta 4th. Garrett Maines in 5th. Nathan Harper in 6th. Kyler Wynn in 7th. Freddie Basnez 8th. Jeff Merck in 10th. And rounding out your top 10 in a 27-car field, that is going to be Steve Sizemore. As the green flag now out here at Atlanta for 100 laps of action for Tuesday Night Thunder. All right, well, some action here on lap number 2. Almost a big wreck. Mid-pack on back. They're all able to save it. But we have a breakaway here up front as Dylan Basin continues to lead. And these drivers already have a handful in the wheel right now, Ron. Oh, my God, into turn number 1. Basin leads right over Malik Ray. And, man, did you see that on lap number 2? Almost a big one there in the back.
Yeah, they get a little racy early. Thankfully for these guys, there is a stage break. So, they should be fine to get a big pack and they'll be able to keep up there. So, but yeah, getting a little aggressive and a little racy early. Not real smart, if you ask me.
Yeah, it's right now. It's really 9 cars here in this pack. Steve Sizemore, the 10th place car, trying to reel that pack down in. And you got to go all the way back to Brock Westmoreland now, leading the 2nd pack. And already, so here we'll actually bring up the track map. And you can see this 2nd pack on back. They're 11th. And going back all the way to 26th, Wyatt Gray, Mark Vondell in 27th. So, yeah, not something you see here to start the race here tonight. But luckily no yellow here to begin tonight's race. We will have a competition caution, or a stage break, I should say, at lap number 35. As Walker goes wide here in the 2nd pack. He'll lead that 2nd pack now. Daniel Falkingham now here on the top as we go back up front. Still all Dylan Basin 2 wide here in the front. And you see that 2nd pack here. They're about a straightaway now, Ron, ahead.
Yeah, I think the 2nd pack should hold their ground there, hopefully. Don't want to see really anybody go a lap down early, but there will be pit stops too, so yeah, this could make it interesting, but it wasn't enough to warrant a caution.
Well, hey, one thing we didn't talk about, man, this season is just flying on by, and Dylan Basin, he's off the pace here on the backstretch, and I think he's just kind of giving up the lead here. But, hey, this is actually the 3rd to last race of the regular season here in the Xfinity car at Atlanta. We'll head to Talladega next week in the Xfinity car as well. And the regular season finale will be at Talladega in the next gen on June the 10th. So, 3rd to last race here of the regular season. And crazy, this is just flown right on by. And the playoffs will start on June the 17th in Daytona. That's all to be determined. Car for the first 2 weeks of the play. Actually, the whole playoffs, it looks like, until you get the championship race still be determined as far as car. But man, Ron, what a season here. It's going right on by.
Well, it's flying by. So, there's a lot of desperation now for guys that don't want to get into playoffs. They can do that with a win. So, there's that aspect of it too that makes it even more interesting. But yeah, we'll probably throw some votes out there and see what the guys want to race. When you have a long season like that with car updates and whatnot, you really don't know what car is going to be the raciest and the best car. So that's kind of why I left it like that. I'll start throwing some polls out there and seeing what people want to race.
Well, Daniel Eberhardt, a couple wins here on the season, as well as Daniel Falkingham, Nathan Harper, Malik Ray's got to win, Seipel's got to win, Ethan Eckert, Matt Lee, Kyler Wynn have wins. So the top 16, they'll make that playoff. And there's a cut line, and it is heating up between Jared Haynes, Mark Vondell, Davenport. Mike Davenport, our in-race reporter. We'll have a word with him later as well. So a lot to be, lot going on here in the last 3 races here this regular season. Wins matter, as do the points. You're going to want to get a good finish. So some tough drivers out there tonight. We got a neat NASCAR Coke Series driver now here. P1 on the board. That's going to be Malik Ray leading that high line here. And just inch ahead of Garrett Maines there on the bottom in the weekend water technology #1. But calmness here at Atlanta after that second lap little debacle there that split these two packs up. And we'll see what happens here. 10 of 100 here in the books tonight. As these guys in the front just kind of playing side by side. And that back behind them led by Falkingham. They're now single file, and I'll tell you what, it's not going to be too long, and they might be able to catch that pack before this stage.
Yeah, it's going to make it a little interesting. I'd like to see. They definitely don't want to lose any ground because, if you mess up on a pit stop, if we pit under green, it'll be really easy to go a lap down. So those guys are going to want to make up as much ground as they can before these pit stops roll around. We should see the sun come down here. I got it set like right at sunset for a race start, so hopefully I've had some times where I set it up like that and the sun never went down, so we'll see what happens here.
Yeah, it seems like when it's static, obviously it remains the same. If it's not static, sometimes
it's dynamic. So
yeah, dynamic. Even though sunset, it sometimes takes a little bit longer for it to be completely dark. But on the racetrack right now, 81-degree ambient temp, only 88-degree track temp, so track pretty cool here at Atlanta. And we have a 2-mile-an-hour wind here, as you see on our weather. So pretty cool track here tonight for these drivers. So they shouldn't have too much of a handful here. And we'll see how that plays out here tonight. But, we'll see. We got that stage break at lap number 35. Only 40% fuel here tonight in these Xfinity Series cars. And in that last lap, here's Falkingham. He's going to run a 31.33. And they're a little bit tick faster than the leaders right now. So we'll see if that second pack can somehow keep gaining on them here before we come to lap 35 here in this first stint. And right now, Garrett Maines still leads out front with Malik Ray to his outside.
Yeah, that second pack is really organized. They're in line and doing a really good job. So, we'll see if they can run them down. But, yeah, man, good to see Garrett back. Garrett hasn't been with us for several weeks, so good to see Garrett back. And then D3's not here tonight. Eberhardt, this is kind of his track, so missing a few guys.
D3 looks like he's out there. He's out there in the 12th position right now.
I missed it. My bad. I just looked through I see it now. Never mind. My bad. Yeah, this is a good track for him, so he always runs really good here. And I know he's from that area, so I think he takes pride in that being a hometown track.
Yeah, here's Daniel Eberhardt in the number 90 for Roughneck Racing. As he's sporting that blue and gray scheme in that Ford. He's got the R&R Roughneck Racing logo there on the front. Wagoner's welding on the side. And Daniel Eberhardt, the third, trying to win here at his home track of Atlanta Motor Speedway. And he's tucked right behind the 39 of Daniel Falkingham, right behind him, Chris Walker of the Jack Shack. So see if Daniel Eberhardt can get the job done here in his backyard. And as you alluded to, a very good driver here at this speedway. Really anywhere we go here in our community, as we are obviously typically only on 3 tracks. But Daniel Eberhardt, doesn't matter where you go, this guy is going to try to find his way to the front. And right now still in the front, that's going to be Garrett Maines, and he leads that bottom lane. Right behind him, Freddie Bazinez in the number 20 Menards machine, and he's looking to get another win here as well in the series. Joe Horta for the Jack Shack, right behind his teammate Trevor Astronaut in the number 1. And behind him will be Kyler Wynn, Jeff Merck, Dylan Basin, Steve Sizemore. That's your top 10, and right now, here they come, Ron. Daniel Falkingham has latched onto the back of this pack of Steve Sizemore, and they are right back here in the thick of this one for the stage.
Yeah, what a great job for these guys to catch back up before on pit stops. That's going to be big. So, man, that was a good job of running the pack now. Those guys were smart. They got in line. They knew what they had to do. And, here they're going to overtake a few of them because they got some momentum coming in here. So, I wouldn't be surprised to see a couple of them jump up 3 wide and get around before these pit stops.
Riding on board with the NASCAR Coke Series driver Daniel Falkingham as he pilots a Chevrolet around the racetrack here to the back bumper of Kyler Wynn. Will he look third? He does, no hesitation. 3 wide here at Atlanta. Daniel Falkingham looking racy here early. And as he gets pushed by the 90 of Eberhardt, as we stay 3 wide here into the turn. Action picking up on the racetrack. Fans up on their feet. Malik Ray there in the middle. And they got action here on their top side. We'll see what happens. Astronaut goes to the top. He's going to take the run. Think Betterick go back down. So it's just Falkingham and Eberhardt for now. 2 by 2 all the way up on through. We'll see what Seipel does a little bit farther back. Here comes Nick Seipel in the number 75 Ford right there, as he is 3 wide as well. He wants a piece of that top lane. And this group really got there pretty fast, Ron, as we are now closer. 15 laps away from the stage break and that money to the stage winner and those valuable top 5 playoff points for the top 5 drivers in the stage. So, man, we don't have too many stages left this season. 3 if you count tonight.
That's right. Yep. Like we said, they had some momentum, and then Falkingham had one of the best pushing them. So those guys, they made hay right there. Did a really good job, and not sure kind of what the gas situation will be with those guys running them down. They were single file in line, so who knows whether they use more fuel or less fuel. So everybody's going to have to pit, I believe. So I guess it really isn't much of a state fuel mileage thing. I think it has anyway. It's 22 laps.
Yeah, up here in the drone cam, we got action farther back. Kyler Wynn's going to save it. They save it. We stay green here at Atlanta. And, man, it's 2 by 2 up front. Man, they almost wrecked a little bit farther back. Falkingham Wynn involved, but Falkingham's going to keep it going here. And another kind of little break in the pack here, and we've seen that 2 times here tonight. 2 big saves. We stay green, but it's really made this pack separate a couple times now. Garrett Maines likes to see it. He's out front trying to go for that stage win here tonight. Astronaut, always a good driver here as well. He resides in the state of Georgia. Augusta, Georgia, to be exact, the number 89 of the Jack Shack. Looking to go to victory lane, shock the party here. And his team looking really good of late, the Jack Shack. I'll tell you what, they've won some races here, and they are doing a really good job. A lot of cash spots here for that team of late. They're really coming into form. Been around for a while now. But I'll tell you what, they've ran a lot lately. It's paying off. Is here. Horta pushes Astronaut here as they look to get to Garrett Maines.
Trevor's came close a few times here the last few weeks here, so Trevor's thirsty for a win. And we all know Trevor can do it. He's a good driver. So yeah, he'd love to get him one here tonight. Lock himself in.
Here comes Nathan Hart.
Stops already.
Yeah, a few pit stops here on the board. Looks like Brock Westmoreland in for his pit. So is Steve Sizemore. And Steve Sizemore actually was up there, and it looks like he might have been involved in that incident. And here comes Nathan Harper, a guy that has been really good of late as well on the bottom lane. Third in line there. We'll see, I believe, Ron, let's talk about that pit lane here at Atlanta. A little bit different now with the update. You got to pit in turn number 3. You cannot pit in turn number 4. So you get down there on that apron on the backstretch, and you got to get down there. You don't have to get the pit road speed. You can take the apron as fast as you want, get the pit road speed when you come all the way around to that pit cone. But very, unorthodox, different way to get in the pit stop than you do see here at any other track.
Yeah, like you said, you don't have to slow down, but if you don't slow down enough, you can cause some problems and get back up on the racetrack. So here we go.
Yeah, here we go. And, you know, it really plays into the favorite of Garrett Maines, a Malik Ray, a Daniel Falkingham, guys that have a lot more experience here pitting at Atlanta, especially under this method. And see Garrett Maines there, a great job of getting on pit exit. And you're going to expect him to definitely get off before all these other guys, but a really good job there by the whole field coming to pit lane here. And excellent, to be honest. And a lot of guys coming down pit lane here, lap number 27. And this will be a critical stop here. We'll see. It's going to be a splash of Sunoco Racing fuel. And then out of their stalls as fast as possible here. Nick Seipel's still now being scored your leader. They're going to be coming down this time by. So he's going to bring down a few more behind him. And it looks like Kyler Wynn, Kenny real hard on the brakes coming to pit lane. But Garrett Main's going to assume the race lead when this all cycles out, I do believe. Nathan Harper, a great stop for him. He is right on the heels of Garrett Maines here. And we'll see how this all plays out as these guys get up on into the backstretch. The other guy's still on pit lane here. So like I said, should be Garrett Maines P1 when this cycles through here. As we get closer to that stage break tonight, action going to heat up here at Atlanta.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see these guys have to be really smart about how much fuel to take to get to the stage break. You know, technically, these guys get pitted should be able to take a little bit less fuel, but you know, it's kind of hard. One lap's not really that much, and you can't really change the increments in iRacing that fine. So they probably end up taking just the same amount of fuel.
Yeah, Garrett Maines has assumed the lead. Nathan Harper in second, Malik Ray in third. Got a couple joining the chat tonight. Ninth Gear Broadcasting. Good to see those guys here. Do a lot of collaboration with them on some of the other series, RNR specifically. They are saying, how's it going, fellas, here? Well, it's going pretty good. Devin Ray in the chat as well. We do miss Devin here in the scene. As Nathan Harper goes sideways, he keeps it straight. We stay green. We all do miss Devin Ray dearly, as he used to be racing here a lot with us. Hung it up a little bit there. We'll maybe see him one day. It's Jeff Merckx sideways. Whoa. Jeff Merckx sideways on the track. We stay green. They're up into the wall. They stay green. And, wow, another save. I just unbelievable save so far here tonight by all these drivers.
Right now there's going to be caution.
Caution now out. And I do not believe that's going to bring us to the stage here tonight.
Nope, we should go back.
And this is going to start farther on back, and with Jeff Merck. So caution number one of tonight's race, and here we go, Jeff Merck. I believe it didn't even start. I think it started way on back, and yeah, this is really, let's just watch this in real time. We're going to keep an eye on the 60 of Jeff Merck getting pushed by Falkingham here. Garrett goes down the block, and he gets into Maines, and then Merck goes to the apron, gets loose all by himself there. Shoots up the track. Astronaut damage for him. As now Astronaut's dooring Merck. And now it looks like they saved it, but Velke up the chute. Oh, Astronaut. Wow, he just takes out Jeff Merck there. Watch this for the 89.
Yeah, that's got to go on Trevor. He turned down on Merck, so there'll be a warning on Trevor there.
Not sure if that was on purpose or not. We're getting another look at it here by the 89. Hey, looks like he just hooked the left right into the 60. And that puts them both up into the wall. Heavy damage. Great start to the race for Astronaut. And, man, he just gets very unlucky. And that was the second part of all this. The first part, like I said, is going to start way back here. And like we said, Merck just kind of loses it after he gives Garrett Maines a nudge right here. And when he does, he kind of loses it. He gets loose, goes down to the red line here, tries to save it. The apron kind of turns him up into the racetrack. Falkingham has nowhere to go. He gets up almost into Nathan Harper. And this is, the Bazinez turns to 30. I mean, they have really nowhere to go. Bazinez has to go high. Merck comes up the racetrack. And as soon as he does, he's going to get an Astronaut. Astronaut tries to dodge it. He can't. And I'm sure Astronaut not too happy. An innocent bystander and all this. And the first yellow here of tonight's race, and that will not even put us to this stage break. So we're going to stay pacing here, and I think when we go back green, we will 33, 34. Yeah, it'll be like a 1 or 2 lap shootout for tonight's stage.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a natural like green white checker for the stage because the pace car lights will go off right here. Yep, like 34 up 35, so it'll be 2 lap shootout for the stage.
Yeah, so natural green white checker to here for the stage. Caution number 1 for Jeff Merck here tonight. Pace car lights are out. We'll go restart for the second time here tonight. Maines, Harper, Ray, Bazinas, Falkingham. They'll battle tonight for tonight's stage win. And the top 5, Horta, Basin, Eberhardt, Veliky, Miles, outside looking in. This should sure be a good race to the finish here. Viewers in the chat. Jess is in the chat as well. And if you're out here watching tonight, drop us a chat. Interact with us here on the broadcast. And drop us a name in there. Tell us who do you think is going to win tonight's race here tonight. Now in the backstretch we go here at Atlanta, and we are ready to get those engines back up here to full song here. Next time by, it's race number 14 of the 6th edition of Tuesday Night Thunder. More of a private setting here this season, as the racing has definitely improved over the last one. Chris Carter in the chat. Malik trying to drive through everyone. No surprise his teammates will be doing the same. So Chris Carter not happy here from the chat. Ninth Gear Broadcasting, Maine's redemption from last night. We'll see if he can get the job done. And somebody out there in the chat cheering for Mike Davenport as the pace car dives down onto pit lane. Maine's, Harper here as we get to the Geico restart zone. Green flag back into the air at Atlanta. We'll have 2 laps to go for the stage.
Yeah, 2 laps, and I hope they don't wad it up here.
And the good old wadded up, it sounds like, reminiscent of Chase Mistretta over there.
Yeah, it's the spirit of Chase Mistretta. Yep. Let's don't wad it up, boys.
Yeah, don't wad it up. We want to go green here. If the caution does fly, that will be the end of the stage, and it'll go by iRacing there. Garrett Main still in a drag race here with Nathan Harper here in that top lane. Malik Ray pushing hard here on the bottom. We'll see if he can make a move. Freddie Bazinas there as well. White flag is out for tonight's stage. We'll get a yellow next time by. They fan out. There goes Dylan Basin. He wants more. Will Landon Veliky go with him? He does. They're going to back down in. 2 by 2 we go. Harper, Maines. Who's going to get to the finish line first? Nathan Harper getting turned. Bazinas heavy into the wall. We have a wreck. It's going to bring out a yellow, and Garrett Maines going to win the stage over Malik Ray, Daniel Falkingham, Daniel Eberhardt, and Nathan Harper, your top 5 in the stage. A crash, and that's definitely going to be some damage here as Garrett Maines officially crosses the line as your stage winner. So Maines, Ray, Falkingham, Eberhardt, and Harper. Let's go back here to that yellow flag as Bazin, as you see, already right there into the wall. And we'll see. I think it's going to start with something with Bazinas here up in that top lane, pushing Nathan Harper. We'll get locked here onto that chopper cam. And we'll slow this down for you. Keep an eye on the 20. He's going to offset here on exit. And as he comes back down, we'll see if he... They're going to morph a little bit. This Xfinity car has that net code and morphs a little bit, but then he bumper hooks here the 7 of Harper. And when he does that, Harper comes down. He's going to net code off the 1. Luckily for the 1 there. And Bazinas on the brakes. That's going to check up Horta and Basin. And Bazinas heavy into the wall there. Comes back down the racetracks. He's going to get into Joe Horta. Gets into Basin just a little bit. Veliky hard on the brakes. Ooh, Mike Davenport. Man, we were just going to go to his in-race report. We'll get it in a second. And I'm sure Mike Davenport not going to be a happy camper there. We'll watch from his cockpit in real time.
Yeah, we might not want to talk to him right now. Oh, that's gonna be a warning on Freddie there. Freddie, it wasn't nothing egregious there, but you just gotta know when you can push on these cars, especially here in Atlanta. And With these Xfinity cars, it's kind of hard to push out of the turns. I think it's just got something to do with weight transfer, and it'll get the car really loose if you're pushing and you're anywhere other than exactly square on them. So that's a warning on Freddie there.
Yeah, front end damage for Davenport, and hopefully he's able to get that fixed. We just rode on board with Davenport, and yeah, nothing he could do there. He was heavy on the brakes beforehand, and we're going to go down to pit lane here and check out that 55 machine. And unfortunately, he's going to have to be a good sport here tonight. He's going to get off pit lane right now. And Mike Davenport, who is always our in-race reporter, not going to be too happy at the end of the stage. Mike Davenport, you got a copy?
Yeah, I got you, boss.
All right, man. Well, unfortunately, we bring you in here usually at the first stage break of tonight's race, and unlucky break there. You were doing everything you could to not get caught up in that, but some front end damage. How much time you got left to fix that one, and hopefully you can get that thing fixed before the end of the night?
I had about 3.5 minutes of damage there. The stage breaks have been pretty decent to me here lately, but definitely not this one. I was pretty excited to have some fresh tires there and trying to make a run at some stage points. I felt like I was making some hay there, and unfortunately they spun out there in the front, and when that car comes at you and all you can see is just the entire broadside of the barn coming at you, there's not a lot of places you can go. So it could have been worse. I think I can overcome it, and it's going to take probably most of the race to do it, but we're going to give it a go.
Yeah, and it's a little bit different here, at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Used to race in Talladega, Daytona, and obviously you get a lot more time at those racetracks under caution to fix that damage. But tonight, a lot less time. Tell us about how that factors into it.
Yeah, I think you could almost double, like if you've got 3 minutes, you could almost equate that to like 6 minutes or 7 minutes at another track. Because, the track is so much shorter and the way the pace car comes around. So it does take you a little bit more time to get it fixed, but definitely not going to give up. I've come back from worse. And, not the end of the world here. It does suck, but maybe the back of the pack here isn't the worst place to be.
Well, we are back under green flag conditions. You see Davenport there on the bottom lane. Damage to the front end. We'll keep him in here for just a lap or two as he gets his machine back up here to full speed. And 2x2, it's been a really good race, and we've had a lot of close incidents here tonight. Finally, that caution before the stage break, and then the one to bring out that caution during the final lap of that stage. But tell us about the Speedway. How's it feeling tonight? Looks like a little cooler than normal here on the racing surface.
I don't know if it's cooler. It certainly doesn't feel that way. I don't know if it's just Atlanta because, I'm used to running. I don't run Atlanta as much as other tracks, but towards the end of that run on the old set of tires, it was really loose. I saw a lot of tire smoke, even if we didn't see guys that were spinning out or wrecking or anything like that. On my screen, I could see quite a bit of tire smoke from people just kind of hanging it out and trying to hold on to these things. And it was quite the handful, so I was happy to come down and get some tires there before or at that stage break and see what I could do with them. But
well, we see you here in the 15th position. Got a couple guys underneath you here. We'll let you get back to work. Hopefully a caution or two, and you can get that thing all fixed up and hopefully make a march back to the front tonight.
Yes, sir. We're going to give it a go.
That was our in-race reporter, Mike Davenport, and as always, every week, giving us some insight into the racing. Love that little thing we do with him each and every week, as we are now 3 wide here at the front. Garrett Maines leads the middle. Malik Ray on the top. Garrett's going to clear down in front of Nathan Harper as that opens up the door for the 90 of Eberhardt here in the middle.
Yeah, y'all talked about it a little bit, but when things happen here, it's about like Bristol. It just happens so fast. Because the track's so much smaller, things just come at you. You don't have a lot of room to move around and get out of the way, so it's tough.
Yeah, 3 wide right now. Some hard racing up front. Kyler Wynn now getting up here into the top 5 as he has made his way to the front behind his teammate Malik Ray in the 1. Another one, that's Joe Horta in the middle. He's making some hay, getting close to the front as well now. So he had a little incident there a little bit before. And we'll see if Horta can get back into this. Daniel Falkingham. There comes Jared Haynes. Another good run here. Jared Haynes in the 7th position right now. Dylan Jones coming up. Try to get to his teammate of Daniel Eberhardt. So action picking up here at Atlanta. As all these cars running about the 31-second bracket right now on the racetrack. As the tires wear out, or you got to save some tire here in the second stint. 44 of 100 in the books, closing in on the halfway mark here tonight. We'll take a break at that halfway point. But for now, we remain under green. A couple cautions here tonight.
Yeah, this race is clicking off pretty quick. Yeah, you mentioned about saving tires, and we get 2 sets of tires in the pit. So I'm sure most of them are already taking one of their sets of tires. So there'll be some strategy going here towards the end. There'll be a few people that'll wait to take them on the last stop. You got some guys that can save tires really well. So a little bit of strategy goes in on the tire wear here, more so than Talladega, Daytona.
Still a lot of glare down there in the entry of turn number 3. You see that on your screen when we do get down there on the end of the backstretch, and drivers dealing with a little bit sun in their eyes, but here on the front stretch, a little bit better sight for them visually as we stay 2 by 2 in this pack. We'll try to quickly go through this field here at the back right now. Steve Sizemore, Jeff Murray, and they have some damage. Christopher Walker as well, Brock Westerman, Trevor Ashmanoff, Mark Von Dell, Mike Davenport, Kenny McCullough. Those guys are all 20th on back to 27th. Christopher McCullough right now in the 19th position, and he's always good here at Atlanta. We'll see if he can make his way to the front. Up in front of him, it's going to be Michael Wingo, Steven Miles. Also, he's in 17th. Freddie Bazinez in 16th. Wyatt Gray in 15th. Dylan Basin up here in 14th. Landon Velicki, Nightmare Esports, he is in 13th. Still looking for, I believe, an R&R win. It's one thing he does not have. Joshua McCullough in 12th here tonight. He is a PGR Thursday Intimidator Super Speedway winner. And what a big night it was last Thursday. And, man, he had to go to bed, sleep on it for about 24 hours as the racing committee did elect to uphold the EOL, the last lap EOL, to Garrett Maines, who's in tonight's field. So a big win for Joshua McCullough. Kenny Reel ahead of him. He is a PGR winner as well. He is currently in the 11th position. Dylan Jones is top 10 right now. Falkingham in 9th. Jarrett Haynes in 8th. Malik Ray is in 7th. Nick Seipel, 6th. Joe Horta, 5th. Nathan Harper in 4th. Kyler Wynn, 3rd. Daniel Eberhardt in 2nd. And right now, still in your race lead, that's going to be Garrett Maines as we stay 3 wide here at Atlanta.
Yeah, that was a good win for Josh. So, we talk about, Kenny and Chris both sitting back there being very conservative. You don't get that out of Josh. He wants to get to the front as quick as he can. You'll see Kenny push him up there and then back to the back sometimes. But it's kind of funny seeing how different he races than his dad and his uncle do. So
yeah, it was a
big
very
win for Josh. Congrats.
Yeah, big win, and like we said, we had to wait for it too. And it's I like the committee and how that all comes about. You give the guy that was EOL the chance to win that appeal, and it goes to voting, and it goes to the right people. So I'm glad that it all ended up getting it right. I know for Garrett, not what he was looking for, and Garrett has his ways and saw it a little bit differently, which much respect to him and the conversations that we had. But unfortunately for Garrett, a big win taken away from him on Thursday night. But he'll be back. He'll be back on the top of that podium here shortly, and just trying to eliminate, across the board, hopefully in other promotions as well, as those blocks that, and Garrett's wasn't completely egregious, but if you're going to make a block in these races and you are not 110% clear and it checks up that field and it causes a wreck, that's the stuff we're trying to cut out just a little bit and make these drivers think twice about making those blocks that we've seen them make so many times, because not every time you're going to have a field behind you that can save it. And we've seen some saves tonight, but majority of the time those do create wrecks, and that's not what we want to see.
Yeah, that's right. It puts race control and race promoters in a bad spot. It's a little different in NASCAR. You can think twice about doing it so you don't hurt yourself or kill yourself or somebody else.
Right.
These cars here, you don't have that risk. So, you do it, so there has to be, there has to be some repercussions from it, but it puts us in a bad spot.
Yeah, it's nothing you want to call, and I'm glad. I told Gary, I say, I'm removed from this now. Let this committee figure that out. You guys got to take it up with them. And that was for me, around doing race control, and I've kind of stepped away from doing race control. But Baker obviously on leave, and not having him around, I've had to do it a little bit too much more than I wanted to. And those are the calls. It just sucks to have to make them, and take somebody from essentially taking first in a race to practically end of the line on the last lap, and it's not something you want to do, but you got to protect the field, and hey, you put it to a committee, you let them decide, kind of take your opinion out of it, and unfortunately for Garrett, like we said, he was on the wrong side of it, but hey, he's right back here, and he's a racer, and he's up front.
It hurts to take money out of guys' pockets, but you got to think about it. Some of the moves that they make take money out of a lot of other people's pockets. So,
yes.
It is what it is.
Yeah, well, he's right back here, and he's searching for that top spot here tonight. Past the halfway point, Garrett Main still your leader, as he's just ahead of Daniel Eberhardt, as Garrett has led probably the most laps here tonight, and he came to win, but so did D3. As you alluded to earlier, Ron and D3 back up here to the front. P1 for the man out of Georgia, his home track here, Atlanta Motor Speedways. Wow, both ones touch. Horde of Mains here into the tri-oval. They're able to keep it together as Malik Ray, Nick Seipel teammates here on the top lane, as they're going to work together to try to get to the front as well. And while we have a quick second, we'll take that quick race break here live on the PGR eSports Network. Back here live on the PGR eSports Network as we get clicked off lap number 59, coming to 60 here as we stay three wide. Malik Ray, Nick Seipel still in that third lane. They're coming up on lap traffic. Man, this is going to be chaos here. We are also coming on what could be some green flag stops as well for Sunoco Racing Fuel. Those lap cars are going to get down onto that apron there. That's Wingo, Ashmanoff, and Vondell. As Mains now going to drop back just a little bit in that bottom groove. And that middle groove, top groove right now, fast. Ooh, Ron's calling something out. Do we have a caution? We don't. Nothing happened here, I don't believe.
We're good. We're good.
We are good. We stay green, thankfully, because the racing up front is phenomenal right now. As Malik Ray now leads the middle lane on the door of Daniel Eberhardt down the backstretch. And man, this has been an awesome second half of this race. After that stage break, we have gone green here, and you would think eventually green flag stops. And thank you to Joe Seipel in the chat for the super chat, super sticker, whatever it may be. Joe Seipel sporting Morris Triscaro 2028. Love the sound of that. We can make some signs here for that one and take a run at that presidency here.
Yeah, that was a little scary moment there with the lap cars. I got on the radio and told the leaders to tell them what they want them to do. You just run out of room here when the guys are 3 wide. So a little scary moment there, but we good.
Yeah, fanning out across the start-finish line. Eberhardt still leads here as he's going to lead Maines, Harper, Malik Ray, and Nick Seipel, your top 5. Horta's going to battle in that lane there right above, but the way I was just going to say it, green flag stops coming, the way they were lining up there on the bottom. Here comes Maines and Eberhardt. Ooh, Eberhardt's going to get sideways. Can he hold it? Maines is going to do a crossover move. We have a race here on the apron. This is amazing. Garrett, man, like I told you earlier, these pros are going to have the advantage on this type of pitting here, and you saw it right there. Normally, you don't see a crossover move on the pit apron, and you saw it there from Garrett Maines. Eberhardt, what a save, just to not turn himself there, and wow, what an epic entry there for those guys. Back up front now, Falkingham leads it as those guys gave up the race lead. I'm sure they'll be right back up there once we get this all cycled out. But Falkingham Jones, it's Real and Wyatt Gray. They're going to come in as a foursome. Should be this time by. They're not going to want to give up too much more time. Joe Horta brings in a second contingent with Jared Haynes, Dylan Basin, Veliky, McCullough. That's Josh and Stephen Miles, Chris and Kenny McCullough.
Yeah, and here come the last 4 guys now. There's going to be one more stop. This won't take them to the end, so it's going to be interesting. Most of the guys are probably going to take tires now and try to save a little bit. If a caution comes out, then the ones that don't take tires will be able to take 4. So there's going to be a lot of strategy that could play into this race here, depending on how it plays out.
Yeah, here come these 4 guys into pit lane. We're going to keep an eye here on Daniel Falkingham. We're in his cockpit. We'll see if he's taking any tires here, Ron. So he gets down into his box, comes to a complete stop. It doesn't look like any tires for Falkingham. Looks like a fuel only. He's already off. So let's go back up to Garrett Maines. Garrett Maines now probably going to assume the lead here. And right behind him, Malik Ray, D3, Nick Seipel, Nathan Harper, Kyler Wynn. I will keep an eye right here and how this all plays out as they get to the backstretch. Here's that other group of Falkingham, Gray, and Jones. And hey, they were winning the battle for a second, but they're not going to be winning it here as they're going much slower than this contingent. But hey, they are right there. And they got a little bit more fuel in their tank. So I think that's going to be a win there for Falkingham, Gray, and Jones as they practically stay here in the top 10. So some different strategies here, and we'll see how it all plays out. Some guys probably saving tires for that last stop. 67 of 100 in the books.
A couple strategies you can do there. You can get enough fuel to get you to the next stop where you would take some tires, but I don't know, man. That's not my forte.
Nah, we're up here broadcasting, let these guys figure out all that hard stuff. But a lot to go in the mind, not just racing and keeping your wheel steady here tonight, but also that getting that pit exit or pit entry. That's a big part in this race. And also, not only that, but that strategy, tires, fuel, all that kind of stuff going to build up into who wins this race tonight. If you look here in the front of this pack, I believe we're going to go here. Let's see. Number 10 is Joe Horta. Got 11th is Bazinez. Veliky's 12. Stephen Miles is about a second back. So 13 guys in it. Right now, 9th or 14th on back, Haynes. They're right now, they're not in this race. So it's a 13-car race right now, all within a second. And then 8 seconds back, all those other guys, for the most part, all the way to 19th. And then everyone else from there, a lap down or more. So really, there's not too many horses left in this race if this thing goes green. You're looking at the front of this field, and whoever, gets broken here on this next round of green flag stops. Now, obviously, a caution can change everything here tonight, as it normally does. Jeff Merck in the chat, Garrett gave us the I knew it was going to end bad with the run he had, but I did it anyway mentality. So, Jeff Merck, always some funny comments out of him, and fortunately ended his night early tonight. Malik Ray, your leader now here at Atlanta with Ron with 30 laps to go.
We got a few guys back there in that second pack that are hoping and praying for a caution. And then Michael Wingo's first car lap down. So those guys are really, really hoping for a caution because get a race. Probably don't have a chance to win anyway if we don't get a caution.
Yeah, here's Michael Wingo back in the 20th position, looking for that caution to get him back here on the lead lap. Tail end of the lead lap right now, Kenny McCullough out of Savannah, Georgia. He's all by himself and no speed right there. Chris McCullough in this pack right here with Kenny Reel and Josh McCullough, Dylan Basin, I believe, in this pack as well. These guys trying to just stay alive here and pray a caution does fly. Jared Haynes leading this pack. But then if you go back up, it's going to be Steven Miles. He is 13th. So 13 cars right now in this main pack. Have a shot to win it here tonight if we go green the rest of the way. Malik Ray trying to lead that 13-car pack right now. Down the backstretch, and he's going to get some extra horsepower down the backstretch as he gets to tow off the 4 Brock Westmoreland. As you see D3 Daniel Eberhardt in that middle lane. Try to get some draft off the 4 as well. He's now linked up with his teammate Dylan Jones as Garrett Maines goes to the outside. And 2 by 2 we go. As we are ticking them off here on a Tuesday night. Don't go anywhere. 20 concurrent viewers, I should say. And we have a lot of race left here. And who knows what's going to happen. But we're going to have some desperate guys here, Ron, with just a couple more races to go before the playoffs. Try to get themselves locked in.
Yeah, most of these guys up here in the front. Let's see, Dylan, I don't think he has a win yet. But these guys up front have some wins. Garrett doesn't have a win, and I'm not sure how many more races he would have to make to be able to get in the playoffs. But I look, he's missed quite a few. So as long as I think it's 13 races. As long as they pay for 13 races, they can get in the playoffs with a win.
Well, you heard it there from Ron, so still a lot on the line. Merck still not happy in the chat with what happened. Not happy with Trevor as well, saying that he intentionally kept turning left until he wrecked him. So Jeff Merck, not a happy camper down there in the state of Florida tonight. And sure we'll be back this week, and we'll see if Jeff Merck can come back from a couple bad races here, get back up to where he knows he can be running. And just some bad luck and puts the 60 behind here tonight. And the ones do battle here at the front of the pack. Malik Ray, Garrett Maines. Man, 3 1s here in the pack. It's getting confusing with all the same numbers here tonight. But and there's another man vying for the race win tonight. That's going to be the 39 of Daniel Falkingham. So he's now back up here in the top 5 with 25 laps to go.
Oh, Eberhardt loses some ground there, gets up into the wall a little bit.
Yeah, these guys right now, I think they're just going to want to ride. I mean, like we said, we only got about, 13 cars really in this thing right now, and there's really no sense. I mean, these guys don't want to see a yellow. That'll just bring everyone back into the play here and put them all in a big pack. So, if you're up front here in the top 13, the last thing you want to do is get too racy. You're coming up on a lot of lap traffic as well, trying to slice and dice through them. But these guys up front, the last thing I want to see is a yellow. The yellow I would not expect to come from them unless it's way later here in this race. As you see a lot of these guys lifting here on entry. We got some flames coming out the pipes. Burke's over here retracting messages on the chat. So some funny times here. Always in the chat. We have some fun interacting with the drivers and the viewers each and every week.
Landon's having a good run tonight. He's still in this lead pack. Stephen Miles had about caught the pack, but he's tagging on to that tail. I think he's just being smart back there, waiting on something possible to happen. But like you said, these guys are going to want to ride, and then you got the second group back there wanting them to race. So they know the race you're going to get, the more likely going to be that they're going to wad it up. So I don't think we'll get too racy before that last pit stop.
Yeah, well, he spoke about Landon Bellicky still trying to get that elusive RMR win. And I'll tell you what, there wouldn't be a happier guy in this field that wins tonight. Other than that man right there in the 62, sporting that Tallahassee VFW Post 5035 paint scheme. And that maroonish, reddish, and some green camo trim for Nightmare Esports. Landon Velicky, the Lake Martin, Alabama. We'll see if he can continue to march forward to the front. Right now, it's still Malik Ray here leading the field. And his sole NASCAR Coke Series win came here at Atlanta in the Next Gen a season ago. So we know Malik Ray, this is one of his tracks that he can really do some damage at. As Dylan Jones now to the middle lane. As he's trying to inch closer to that lead, and it looks like he's going to grab it for an instant here from Malik Ray. Bazinez behind him pushing, as is Seipel. Seipel's going to tag the wall hard.
Eberhart was riding high like he wanted to go third by himself. Actually went up there a few times, but I don't think he can make it work up there without any help. But yeah, Seipel got the wall a little bit right there, slowed him down a little bit.
Yeah, 19 laps to go. And what's going to be interesting, Ron, is the strategy here of these pit stops, because once you get in that window, you got to decide, hey, do I want to pit now or do I want to take a little bit longer? Because the last thing you want to do is pit too early. And then for some odd reason, a caution flies and you're pinned down a lap. So, it's going to be very interesting to see what happens on the racetrack with when these guys decide in their window to make that call. Do they run it out? It just remains to be seen. Like I said, you do not want to pit early enough to where, God forbid, a caution does come out and you get pinned down a lap. That could change the entire race. This isn't Talladega. This isn't Daytona. You're not going to be able to remain on the lead lap when you come down onto pit lane, especially here with pitting in the entrance of turn 3. So here goes Kenny McCall here on the screen. He's going to give way to the leaders. He's down a lap as well. Leaders stay 2 by 2. Ooh, McCall into the wall. He's struggling here right now tonight. But, yeah, that's going to be interesting around to see when these cars decide to come on down.
Yeah, I'm just glad I'm up here watching instead of having to make that decision myself.
Well, you would think they're going to be in their window here any lap now. So we'll have to stick with it and see exactly who decides to do what. And see if anyone has any tires. Is tires going to matter here? Do you want to give up some of that time? Are those tires going to matter all that much? We'll find out. I mean, obviously you get a caution. These guys are all going to take tires if they have any left. But, man, a lot of varying strategies. And, oh, wow, Dylan Jones. Hard into the wall is Jones.
All the way in the wall.
He saves it. He's slow, but he has saved it. Dylan
Probably not a lot
Jones.
of damage, but he just lost a lot of track position.
Yeah, well, we're going to go back, and that's a lot of damage probably, I would think, for him. And I'm not sure exactly even what happened to him. We'll watch here in real time, and he just lost. Oh, yeah, it's netcode. He loses a little bit, comes down the track, and netcode's off the one of Malik Ray. And that's a vicious netcode there. And it's the one downfall here to the B car. He's going to go right up into the outside wall there, and heavy right front damage there. Probably some wheel damage to Dylan Jones, and that could unfortunately end any chance he has at winning tonight's race. He's going to fall backwards to the 13th position. He's actually now all the way back to that second pack of Jared Haynes, and he is just going to get blown right by here by Jared Haynes and Dylan Basin. We go back up front. Malik Ray leads Garrett Maines and Falkingham. The top three, the cream has risen to the top. Bazinez, Eberhart, Harper looking to spoil that party here up front. 2 Coke Series drivers, 1 former Coke Series driver. The race is on, 13 laps to go, and everyone's going to have to come on down pit lane at least one more time tonight.
Yeah, I went back and looked, and we had the longest anybody's gone on green was 27 laps. So, yeah, I think everybody. There's a few guys that pitted here late that we didn't really see. They'll be able to make it, but they're laps down. So, all these leaders, everybody on lead laps, going to have to pit one more time.
Yeah, pit one more time. So we're going to still be a few laps away from that right now. As we are green now, and man, I think we've only had 2 yellows here tonight, and none since the stage break.
A real clean race. Yeah, real clean race. Has quite a few saves and close calls, but been a really, really clean race tonight. Been really enjoyable to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. These guys putting on a show here tonight. A lot of great saves as well. Obviously, a clean race with only 2 cautions tonight. And here they come, Ron. I think they're coming right now. Yep, the leaders are all pitting. Some stay out. That contingent that had pit a little bit later last time, Daniel Falkingham and Wyatt Gray and a couple others, they're going to stay out. So this is where it gets interesting. The race between these guys is on. And, man, Garrett Maines, he is just so smooth on the apron. Malik Gray locking him up, coming in. Ooh, Freddie Bazinez, wreck here on pit road. We stay green. We're going to stay straight. Seipel into the grass. And, man, Bazinez, Seipel going to lose some time. I'm not sure if anyone else did as well. Man, that was crazy. Here comes Falkingham. He leads Gray, Wynn, Basin here. And we'll see. These guys going to come on this time by, I would assume. Nope, they're going to stay here on the racetrack. They're going to pick up a little draft off of Mike Davenport, go back up to Garrett Maines. He's off pit lane. Right behind him, Daniel Eberhardt. Malik Ray actually loses a spot there on that. Landon Velke, a great stop for him. Go back here to Bazinez. He's on pit lane, getting some damage fixed, as is Seipel. That's going to end their chance at winning. Here comes Falkingham. Here comes Gray. Keep an eye on them because they decided to stay out longer. Wyatt Gray wheeling it around. They're on the apron, and they're going to want to stick together here as they get down to pit lane speed here right at the... Oh, Daniel Falkingham makes a mistake. He locks him up into the grass. Man, this is just wild here as Wynn stays out. No, he is pitted. I mean, this is crazy. Let's go back up here to Garrett Maines. Here he comes with Eberhardt. This is going to be your leader here, depending on what Falkingham gets out. I'm going to bring up the track map. It's a good time to do it with 8 laps to go. And here you see Falkingham. He's moving with Gray. They are exiting pit lane now. Here comes Garrett Maines. Exit at turn number 4 with Daniel Eberhardt, Malik Ray, and Velke. Yep. And here's going to be the blend. Man, these guys might have done it again. Yep, they're now blending into the track. Here's Gray and Falkingham. And, yeah, I mean, technically, Ron, they beat them by a mile. The problem is they're not going to be too much momentum. Yeah, that's going to be the problem. But they're putting on a clinic right now together. I mean, as a 2-car tandem, Gray and Falkingham are just doing an amazing job. While they'll lose the lead here in a second, they're still going to be able to maintain enough speed to stay here in the top, 5 to 10 positions, have a shot at this one. So Gray's your new leader. Not for long. Here comes Garrett Maines. But the kid from Columbus, Ohio, man, he is hanging with the Coke Series Pro right now. Daniel Falkingham, still some sun beating down there in turn number 3. What a race tonight.
Yeah, I mean, the good news for them, they got out on the track far enough ahead and was able to get up to speed. So it's not going to be a huge difference today. They're going to be able to kind of blend in pretty good here. So
well, Daniel Falkingham. Here's the thing. They're all working together. Gray, Falkingham, Maines, your top 3 all working together here tonight, as is Nathan Harper. So, I mean, when you have the top 3 working together, of course, now they're going to stay together. And Gray, obviously, for some reason, he's going to get, he might be odd man out. No, he's going to stay down. So the top 3 cars right now, all together, teammates here tonight. So that changes everything here. It's Falkingham has the decision to make. He stays up high. He's going to stay here in the lead with just 5 laps to go here at Atlanta. Tuesday Night Thunder. The race is on for the race win. Falkingham ahead of Maines. Wyatt Gray on the bottom. Down the backstretch we go.
Yeah, Wyatt getting a pretty good push there from Landon. We talked about it earlier. We know Landon wants to get a win here. So, we're going to go 3 wide. Oh, man, that's going to be tight.
3 wide we go. Gray, Falkingham, Maines. All 3 teammates in tonight's race. Velke looking for that first RMR win. Malik Ray says, hey, I want to win. He's going to split the middle. Here comes Dylan Jones. Velke sideways. Can he save it? We have a wreck caution. Flag is out. Stephen Miles ends his night. So does Dylan Basin. Trevin Astronaut up in smoke. And Daniel Eberhardt, some damage as well. Man, with just 4 laps to go, that's going to put us in NASCAR overtime. And the third yellow flies of the night. And it all starts here with the 62 of Landon Velicky. As Velicky moves up the racetrack, running a little bit high here. We'll see what happens. I don't know. You just, yeah, it's got to be netcode because Landon wouldn't just turn up the track like that. For some reason, it snapped up the track.
Well, it started with Eberhardt, really.
Yeah, some bad netcode. You see it all around, and that's going to call. Ooh, Garrett Main's involved. Didn't even see that. Garrett Main's spins there. He's got damage. Steven Miles, a ton of damage. Man, unbelievable turn of events here. And we did not see all that coming. And watch Steven Miles. Ooh, Dylan Basin hard into the wall. Eberhardt slaps the inside wall as well. Hood off for Basin. And wow, just a big turn of events here. As we go back up front. And Falkingham leads Malik Ray, Wyatt Gray, Kyler Wynn. Landon Velicky is able to stay straight. Top 5 right there. Horta, Real McCullough, that's Chris, and Jared Haynes, your top 9. The rest here on pit lane. And everyone on back has some damage, and Garrett Main's probably going to be in that 10th spot with that damage. So, man, just a big, big turn of events here. And we will go to NASCAR overtime. We'll see if, I believe, 3 green and white checkers if we need them. Hopefully we do not, as the pace car light's still out here pacing at Atlanta. 3 cautions if you're just joining us. And a good time to join us if you haven't been here all night, ready to see the conclusion of tonight's Season 6 race number 14. 2 regular season races to go the next couple weeks, and we will be into the playoffs already as Falkingham and Ray, the Coke Series drivers, will do battle for victory here tonight. We'll see if one of these drivers behind can spoil that party. As the pace car approaches the start-finish line, the lights will go out, and we will go green for the green-white checkered next time by here at Atlanta.
Yeah, Daniel said that was on him in the chat, but it probably felt like to him he got loose and tried to save it. But if you look at that, it's obvious that that's netcode. The way that car snaps like that, it just doesn't. Even if you get loose, it doesn't do it like that. So, anyway, appreciate him owning up to it either way, though. It's hard to tell sometimes when you're driving these cars, especially a place like this, you lose it, you don't even really understand. You don't know if somebody hit you or what until you go back and look at the replay.
Well, here we go. It'll be 2 laps to go when we get to the line, and if we get that white flag, it'll be official. Falkingham will bring us to the green flag. He's got Gray's teammate pushing behind. However, Malik Gray here on the top has his teammate, Kyler Wynn, pushing behind him. And behind all them, it's a hungry Landon Velicky and a hungry Joe Horta. This race far from over here at Atlanta. Sun still setting here, as you can see there in turns number 3 and 4. That light definitely changing here as the lights start to come on here at Atlanta. Probably won't need them, though, as this one will be well in the books as the pace car is going to dip down to pit road for what could be the final time here tonight. Into the Geico restart zone. And the green flag back here in the air. Falkingham a good boost off here as he leads. He's going to go up a lane into the middle lane. He's going to go back down, I believe. And we stay 2 by 2, Ron.
Yeah, I don't think that'll happen for long.
No, it will not. Falkingham still side by side with Ray. You couldn't script it any better. 2 eNASCAR Coke Series pros. Wyatt Gray hungry. So is Kyler Wynn. Here comes Kenny Reel on the top side. Who's going to go third? Will Chris McCullough, Kenny Reel go third? Chris McCullough will. Is anyone going to go with him? They do. It might be Garrett Maines. They're going to make a move. White flag is out. Final lap of the race is on. Malik Gray door banging here with the 39 in the corner. Gray gets a little loose. Is he going to hold it? He does. Veliky's looking for the middle. They're stacking up a little bit far behind them. Veliky in the hornet's nest right there. He stays straight. Malik Gray is clear. He clears to the bottom. Now he's got to block the field. Can he hold him off? He's got his teammate in the middle. They're wrecking on back. There you hold it. Malik Gray, your winner here at Atlanta.
That was some crazy saving there on that last lap.
Malik Ray to victory lane tonight. Daniel Falkingham, Wyatt Gray, your podium finishers. Kyler Wynn comes in fourth. Jared Haynes, a great night for Jared Haynes, a cash spot. Ends up coming back to the 5th position here tonight. So a great job by Jared. We will have your top 3 in the booth momentarily here. As Malik Ray goes to burn him down here at Atlanta, where he got his first Coke Series win. Now he gets an win in RMR in the number 1, as he is burning those Goodyear Eagles right here in front of a sellout crowd at Atlanta, as we await Wyatt Gray, Falkingham, and Ray here in the booth. Malik out there still having a good old time and putting on a show with the burnouts there, and a happy man here at Atlanta Motor Speedway tonight, Malik Ray. And man, he ran a great race, as did Garrett Maines, as did Daniel Falkingham, but only one could win here tonight, and Ray gets the job done. We'll bring up those results while we wait these guys. That was actually the qualifying results. Here are the race results. And Malik Ray on top of the scoring pylon tonight. Daniel Falkingham in second. Wyatt Gray third. Kyler Wynn in fourth. And Jared Haynes in fifth. Joe Horta sixth. Josh McCullough seventh. Daniel Eberhardt in eighth. Garrett Maines in ninth. Kenny Reel in 10th. Landon Veliky in 11th. Dylan Jones 12th. Kenny McCullough Jr. in 13th, Chris McCullough in 14th, Stephen Miles 15th, Nathan Harper in 16th, Nick Seipel in 17th, Freddie Bazinez in 18th. In 19th here tonight will be Michael Wingo. Brock Westmoreland finishes in 20th. 21st, Mark Vondell, Dylan Basin in 22nd, Mike Davenport 23rd, Trevin Ashburnoth 24th, Chris Walker 25th, Jeff Merck 26th, Steve Sizemore finishes in the 27th position. So, I believe we got these guys ready to bring them on up here in the booth. And we're going to start with the young buck out of Columbus, Ohio. His name, Wyatt Gray, in the number 18 machine. Wyatt, you got a copy?
Yes, sir.
All right, man. We're battling with the big guns here tonight. And, man, you fit right in with them. Walk us through that race, man. We saw some, a couple green flag stops late. And, man, you and Daniel Falkingham as a twosome there really did a good job of getting on the pit lane, getting off pit lane, and giving yourselves a shot at tonight's win.
Yeah, those pit stops are really fun here because you got to send it in there or else you're not making time. And both of us almost got penalties, but luckily the first stop we went an extra 2 laps and we were saving really hard on that run, hoping we could take less fuel, but we still had to take the same amount of fuel as them. But since it was only 2 of us, we didn't have all the chaos that the other guys had, and we 4 seconds ahead when we got out of there. But that was about as good as you can get with pit stops.
Well, it definitely was, and we saw a great last lap there. And obviously working with Falkingham here tonight, is there anything you guys could have done differently to try to get to Malik Ray?
Yeah, I had no clue I had right rear damage. I think that was part of why I was getting so loose there out of the corner, but yeah, I completely lost it out of 2 and had to gather it, and that's what gave Malik the momentum to get clear there. And I feel bad for Landon because it got him split middle 3 because of me getting loose, and then I net coded him in 3 and 4, so I feel really bad for him. But that was a good run for me and Falcon and me.
Well, absolutely. Great points tonight. Couple weeks of regular season racings left, and then on to the championship playoffs. But before we let you go tonight, anyone you want to thank or shout out?
Shout out 42 Racing UK and the factory setups, and shout out you guys for doing the broadcasts. Ron for putting these on every Tuesday. They're always probably the best race of the week. I always look forward to these. They usually have the cleanest racing.
Well, we appreciate talking to you here tonight. Go celebrate that podium finish.
Thanks.
We'll let Ron here take the next one here tonight. It's going to be Daniel Falkingham, P2, runner-up position here on the scoring pylon at Atlanta. Ron Morris with Daniel Falkingham.
What's up, Dan? How you doing tonight?
Hey, Ron, doing good. How about yourself, man?
Hey, man, doing good. I know you had a couple rough weeks here the last few weeks, but how's it feel good to at least be back? I'm on the podium again tonight.
Yeah, feels good to be back on the podium. Last few weeks, like you said, haven't gone our way for many reasons, but feels good to be back up here, talk with you when it's all said and done. Means we had a pretty good night, but yeah, very enjoyable race. Actually had a lot of fun out there because like handling really came into play. We were loose, we were sliding. Definitely breath of fresh air, not gonna lie. So it was a good race tonight. Finished second. Probably could have had the win if I just had the push on the back straightaway. If I didn't lose Wyatt, I guess he got like loose off two there on the last lap. If I wouldn't have lost that help, we probably would have won. So we'll take it. Still take P2 and another good points day and another cash spot. So feels pretty good.
There you go. It was a fun race to watch, and we just talked to Wyatt. You guys worked really good together, man. And he did really good on pit stops, and you guys came out. You guys had that pit stop where you just had a little tandem pit stop, and we thought y'all were gonna get overtaken, but y'all did a good job of getting out way ahead. So good job on that, man. Good race, man. Glad to see you back on the podium.
Yeah, it was Wyatt and I pretty much executed that pit stop pretty well because like we ran a little extra because we didn't want to pivot that big pack, and it paid off because we were able to run the line that we wanted to. And that allowed us to carry, like, we were able to make some really good lap time just by ourselves and run the line we needed to because, like, with us being pinched down on the bottom, being in a big group, we had to lift so much and we couldn't do what we wanted to. But thankfully with us, just us two, we ended up with a lot of lap time and we were able to jump a lot of guys. So, that definitely benefited and really worked in our favor because we could just block the field when they come and catch us because we had the track position and we were able to just cover them off. So, but yeah, definitely glad it executed really well. And I think we were able to survive the GWC because, all those late race restarts get crazy. But I'm just glad we were able to survive. I'm glad that Y could get third there because I definitely deserved it after how well we executed the last pit stop.
Yeah, well, good job, man. I'll go ahead and give you shout-outs for tonight.
Yeah, shout out for you putting this series on. Thank you, Mike, for broadcasting. Got to shout out my buddy Matthews Watt for letting me use his rig tonight. I'm currently 1,000 miles from my home rig right now. I'm currently in Michigan right now because I'm traveling home from the Indy 500 this weekend, and I had to make a pit stop here so I could run the Coke race tonight and run the and I could run this race tonight too. So appreciate him for letting me borrow his rig for one night only. We'll be back on the road trying to get home tomorrow, but shout out to him for letting me use the rig. Appreciate everyone who comes out and races. Shout out to G-Mains, Jeff, Merck, Nathan Harper, and Wyatt for working well together there. Fun little race with us. And shout out to come out to everyone who comes out and races. Shout out to everyone watching.
Hey, man, shout out to you guys too, man. Well, I appreciate it. Hope you enjoy the rest of your night.
All right, thanks, Ryan. You have a good one.
That was your runner-up finisher here tonight, Daniel Falkingham. He couldn't get around this guy we're going to bring up right now. It's going to be the one of Malik Ray, your race winner here tonight. You got a copy.
Hey, fellas. How you doing?
Oh, not too bad. Getting a little tired here. Second broadcast in a row of tonight for me. But, hey, you guys provided a lot of action on the track. Only 3 cautions here tonight. Relatively clean race and some awesome green flag stops, which ultimately, I believe, in my opinion, helped you, Daniel Falkingham, Garrett Maines, some guys that have a lot more experience at pit stops here in Atlanta, get to the front. But Malik, walk us through the later stages of this race, getting your way up to the front and then holding off a furious charge here from Falkingham.
I was just trying to just work with, the guys that were up around me and I was working with Garrett and Dan there at the end, and then Garrett just made a small mistake going into 3. And when he did that, then I was able to put my nose there and I was able to go 3 wide. And unfortunately he got wrecked out of turn 2, but I think that was like the race winning move. Like, or for me anyway, was once I was able to get them separated. And then Kyler, with his help on the 2 to go restart, he pushed me around Dan. So shout out to him. I appreciate him for that.
Well, Malik, you got your first eNASCAR Coke Series win here at Atlanta a year ago in the Coke Series. You get another win here tonight in RMR's Tuesday Night Thunder. What's it about this place that brings out the best in Malik Ray?
I just think it's a really easy track to just just side draft and just know where the runs are coming from and stuff like that. And tonight, with it being like a slick track, I think like the handling and tires, I think like it set people like aside in like different categories. So I was happy about that.
Well, happy you are. A win here on Tuesday night. Championship playoffs only 3 weeks away from tonight. 2 regular season races in between that, Malik. But, hey, you got the job done. P1 on the scoring pylon here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Before we let you go, anyone you want to thank or shout out?
Shout out to Wagoneers Welding, and shout out to, you and Ron for putting on the broadcast. And shout out to Kyler for the help on the last 2 laps. I appreciate all 3 of you guys, or all 4 of you guys, actually. So thank you.
All right, Malik. Go enjoy that win, and I'm sure we'll be talking to you again here this season. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, man.
Malik Ray, your winner here tonight, and we did go through the race results already. We'll throw them up here on the screen one more time. That's your top 18 out of, I believe, 27 cars here tonight. Excuse me. Anyways, well, Ron, another good race here in the books as we look ahead to race number 15 of the season. Crazy to think it's already going to be that deep into season number 6. The schedule looks like this. We're going to be going racing on June the 3rd in Talladega in the Xfinity Series car, and then on June the 10th, it'll be the Cup Series at Talladega, and that'll end the regular season. So a couple big weeks ahead, as we will be back here live with you guys on Tuesday next week, the 3rd of June, for some more RMR Tuesday Night Thunder. Tomorrow night, we will head over to RNR. Man, I always get the two confused now. Roughneck Racing's Championship Series for some more super speedway money racing over there. And, man, they're almost to the championship race as well. So a lot of these series going to be ending here shortly, and some action really picking up on Thursday night. PGR will head to Talladega in the Gen 6. So the Gen 6 car will get a good look on the PGR Intimidator Super Speedway Series. And then don't forget, Monday night returns of the Season 2 playoffs for the PGR Light Series with an off week for Memorial Day yesterday. And 2 more weeks left to crown a champion in there. We got a lot of guys graduating that series due to the new format with the license system. So a lot of really good drivers have one shot left here to claim that championship. So with that said, it's signing off here tonight for the PGR eSports Network. And I want to thank all of you for joining us here tonight. For my broadcast partner, Ron Morris Jr., and myself, Michael Triscaro. See you all here tomorrow night.